Today's headline is Many Ways to Fight Fire. The subheadline says, New York firemen rush in front of the flames, smash things with their axes, and deluge the property with water. Their tactics astonish Baltimore. It says, the New York firemen who went to Baltimore to help check the Great Fire were distinguished from their brothers of other cities by their methods of work, as much as by their uniforms and badges. Although certain general rules concerning firefighting are recognized in all cities, there are many minor details which differentiate the service of one place from that of another. This was never demonstrated more clearly than in Baltimore, where representatives of half a dozen different departments could be seen working side by side. I couldn't take orders from them and understand them, was the remark of one of the New York firemen, referring to the Philadelphia contingent. I'd get mixed up and nervous. In Philadelphia, firefighting is carried on in more leisurely fashion than in New York, and the men lack the snap and alertness which characterize those from here. But in a sense, this does not detract from the efficiency of the service. It is a good service they have in Philadelphia, and the firemen sent from that city to Baltimore did excellent work, but their apparent slowness would be fatal in New York. Dash, daring, and intrepidity are the watchwords of our department. In Philadelphia, they try to do as little destruction to property for the use of water and axe as possible. Valuable time often is lost. The men hunt the flames out from the rear and attack them from that direction. Imagine a crew of New York firemen doing that. They must strike at the front and check the spread of the fire by cutting their way to the front through wood, stone, and mortar. In Baltimore, the great mistake was in not facing the fire long enough and holding it in check that way, was the comment of another returning fireman. You can't fight successfully from the rear or from the sides. As fast as you put it out, it will spread ahead of you and make you do all the work over again. The Baltimore firemen couldn't keep pace with the spreading flames. For this reason, the first successful stand was made when we got there. We took up our position in front of the advancing fire and stayed there. Don't understand me to say that the firemen from other cities did not act personally as well as we did. They stood by us, shoulder to shoulder, when we were completely surrounded by smoke and flames. But they needed someone to show them how to face the fire. They had been taught a different method. We knew our way, and we stood up to it, and they helped us. We drew a dead line, and said so far and no further shall the fire go. We planted our engines in line of hose there, so the retreat was practically cut off. If we had run to save ourselves, we would have lost the engines and hose. When the Washington firefighters arrived, they brought in a third method of attacking a fire. They were as brave and dashing as any of the others on the scene, but they were thinking of saving property, and especially their own engines and hose. They were very careful not to lay lines of hose where they would be exposed to danger. Once or twice a retreat order was given because there was danger to the apparatus. A few more minutes of hard fighting might have changed everything, but the orders were to retreat, and the men obeyed. We're often blamed for smashing and ruining property, continued the New Yorker, and I suppose sometimes we do get pretty rash and destructive. I've heard people say that we do more damage with water and axe than the flames. I guess we do, and we do it with a will, but also for a purpose. We know the value of time. No matter how small the fire is, it must be checked within the first 20 or 30 minutes if possible. A half-hour headway means a good deal. We believe in plenty of water and a liberal smashing of things with our axes. But if we do more damage than the flames in the course of a year, how many millions of dollars do we save thereby? There were some fire companies from the smaller towns around Baltimore, and they joined in heartily with the others. Some of them opened their eyes with wonder at our methods. I guess they thought we were a reckless lot of pirates let loose. When we started to check the fire in one important building, we nearly demolished it before the flames had a chance to get well started. It was a strategic point, and we had to soak the building with water to keep it from going up in flame. I believe our system is the best, but I don't think we convinced everybody in Baltimore that we did help a little in putting out the fire. This story came from the great state of New York, being reported in the New York Times of March 6, 1904. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.